Hey everybody, I'm Brandon72Mo. This is the Declasse Asea, and I'm about to find out if it'll off-road. This is the second most voted for vehicle this week, coming in with 19 votes. You can vote for the vehicles that you want to see by clicking on the link in the description down below. Vote for whatever vehicle you want as often as you want. It is totally fair to rig the elections. So, the Asea, one of the worst performing sedans in the game in terms of racing and its top speed, if I'm not mistaken. Tiny little compact, front-wheel drive, turbocharged, 4-banger, maybe even a 3-banger, I don't know. So not a lot of power, but what power it does have, those little tiny wheels can't really put down to the road that well. Because of that, it likes to spin its wheels quite a bit, and that's going to come into play here in just a minute. But on this first little bit here, even though we're not going all that fast, the thing that surprised me the most about the Asea is how stable it is over bumps and over the uneven terrain. I mean, it just, for being as lightweight as this little car is, it does not bounce around like I was expecting it to. Not at all. I mean, look, we just had a little bit of air there, and it just handles it really gracefully. Very uncommon for lightweight cars in this game. What's not uncommon is the front-wheel drive wheel spin that we're seeing right now, as those wheels try to pull the car up. They lose traction, and of course, it also means I lose the ability to steer and, yeah, wind up pointing in the wrong direction. Somebody asked me why I own the Asea, and, well, why not? I mean, once it's customized and upgraded, it's not a bad-looking little car. It can be kind of fun to drive around in lobbies. You don't want to enter in a race or anything like that, but it has a fair few customization options available, though that is the only spoiler available, and it is a bit garish. So, we're going to tackle this again, see if I can't keep the wheel spin under control. Believe it or not, when these wheels are spinning, you can probably hear it a little bit. I'm letting off the throttle as much as possible. Unfortunately, the point where the wheels stop spinning is also the point where I'm no longer giving the car enough gas to get it to go uphill. There's Commander Hobo in a Declasse of an entirely different sort. I gotta say, I love it when Commander's in the lobby during Will and Off-Road with me. He's always there as a good support vehicle. He's not allowed to help, and you know, but still. I just always enjoy having Commander as he slides down the hill. I just always enjoy having Commander there with me. He's always quick to move out of the way when things go very wrong, and they often go very wrong. I'm actually working on outtakes, little off-road video, kind of showing some of the fails and struggles and things like that. It's several weeks away still, but speaking of being several weeks away, I've actually the day I recorded this car, I recorded 5 other cars, and I already had 1 other recorded. So I've got the next 3 weeks worth of Will It Off-Road recorded. So if you vote for a vehicle and you don't see it for a few weeks, don't fret. I'm going off of what the voting was as of May the 1st for the next 3 weeks, and then I'll probably do 6 more vehicles. And I'll probably do it that way for a little while. It's just easier to sit down and record them all in one shot than do it kind of on a weekly basis. So yeah, it may take a little bit longer for your voting results to be reflected in the videos, but that'll also give more time for people to get votes in and really sway things. So since we had a lot of wheel spin, I'm going to try a different approach. You know, desperate times call for desperate measures and all that such nonsense. But I figured, you know, there had to be more than one way to get this car to go up the hill, and, well, it appears that I found it. It's not cheating, and you saw nothing. You saw nothing. There we go. Up that first challenge. Immediately getting wheel spin, though, trying to get turned around, which makes turning around a bit difficult, quite honestly. But we're on our way forward, and, you know, most cars have made it to the top of Mount Chiliad by now, and we're still pretty much at the bottom. Up, kind of hit that bump there, kicked me off to the right, and there's Commander's quick reflexes. Once again, just that massive SUV, just as nimble as can be under Commander's control. Maybe I should just let him start doing the little off-road testing. He's so much better at this than I am. But, yeah, more wheel spin. Massive, in fact, amounts of wheel spin. Frustratingly so, in fact. I'm gonna back up a little bit more. Try the Jeremy Clarkson approach of power to see if I can't just power my way up this thing. Turning the headlights on and off for some reason that I don't really understand. I don't remember why I did it. And once again, that bump got me. I don't know if you saw it there, but I was steering to the left and the wheels started spinning just a little bit. And so I couldn't avoid the bump. So, it's not looking good for the Asea, is it? I mean, not really what I'd call an off-road car. It handles the bumps so well. It's just a shame that... Ooh, shit. Whoops. Bit of a miscalculation there. It's just a shame that it can't put the power down better to be able to climb up. I thought I was stuck there for a second, but I decided to go forward instead of backwards and was able to get out of that. Not going to make it up these steeper bits. So I'm going to drive around and find a good spot to get back onto the trail here, which looks like this is a pretty damn good spot. Just being real gentle on the throttle, trying to avoid that wheel spin. That's just kind of the name of the game with this car, really, more than anything. Is just avoid the wheel spin. And there are several ways to avoid wheel spin in cars. Throttle control is one. Creative problem solving is another one. That's what I'm calling it. Never said this was against the rules. Just never done it before. Never. Never tried that approach. Probably should have kept going that way, honestly. There we go. We're moving again. We're almost approaching the time that the Romero Chariot Hearse, can't remember exactly the way around those goes. But getting close to the times of that car. Bringing up my spreadsheet now to see how the Asea is comparing. You would think by now I would remember to have already brought the spreadsheet up on my laptop so I could look at it. But no. That would be thinking ahead and planning ahead. We can't have that. So let's see. By now, everything but the Brigade and the Romero Hearse has made it up the mountain, as far as everything that we've tested so far in Willett Off-Road. So that kind of gives you an idea of where this car is going to come. I mean, we're talking the Hearse is the 76th slowest up the mountain. And everything after the Hearse were DNS. So, yeah. The Asea is definitely going to be the new number 77. Going to bump the Shih Tzu Squallow out. Why is that 77? It's a boat. I know. If you didn't see that video, go back and look for it. I tested to see if a boat was off-road. Still getting massive amounts of wheel spin, so I'm going to pull forward here a little bit to a little bit of a flatter section. And try again. The headlights are incredibly bright. So are the backup lights, surprisingly. There we go. The nice thing about going this way is it kind of limits the amount of power you're putting down. So you get less wheel spin. Plus, you know, it's effectively a rear-wheel drive car now. You just got to be careful with your steering because it does get a bit twitchy to go this to do this method. Is I guess the words I'm struggling to find. My brain does not function very well most of the days. Most of the days. See, there you go. Perfect example. I really should give up talking. Quick drink of Dr. Pepper, because usually by now most cars are up and back down, and we're usually done with the damage descent by now. But no, we're still climbing. We are still climbing. Turn the headlights off. I know in the video that makes it a little harder to see, but in-game it actually makes it easier to see. It's really weird how the lighting works. It's just, once you recorded it, I always go back and I'm like, why did I turn my headlights off? You can see fine, but when you're in-game, it just makes it a little harder to see. But the way I do the color correction and all of that in Adobe, it works out fine to leave them on because it balances things out. Because Adobe works miracles. Well over 9 minutes now. Still not to the top of Mount Chiliad with the Asea, but it's getting there. So as it spins its wheels and I struggle to keep it going in a straight line, course, if you're not getting traction for moving forward, you're also not getting traction for, well, steering. Final challenge here, and wheel spin off to the side, almost off the mountain. That was a definite oh shit moment. Much puckering going on there. Trying to back up. No such luck, I don't think. Maybe. There we go. Okay. That worked. Now I just gotta get out of this jam I've gotten myself into here. And we are finally to the top of Mount Chiliad in the Asea in 10 minutes, 20 seconds. Will it off-road? Yeah. Barely. Very barely. But it's gotten there, and it looks pretty damn good doing it. So that means it's time for a controlled descent. And the Asea actually has fairly decent brakes. Fairly decent traction as far as its rear end, thanks to that big spoiler. Even though that's not really how spoilers work. But, and we've already seen that it does really well over the bumpy bits. So, I'm expecting the controlled descent to go much better than the climb up to the top of the mountain. You'll see just blipping the brakes every once in a while, keep the speed off, hard on them there. Don't want to get too much speed, because again, this is a lightweight car. So if you hit the jumps too hard, it will still go flying. But you can just see over this rough stuff, this car is just so composed, so poised, so it's just easy to control. And that's the thing I took away from this with the Asea, is just how amazing it handles that type of stuff. It's really surprising. I wish more cars had these characteristics, especially more of the lightweight cars, as my voice kind of cracks there. Because most of the lightweight cars just get thrown around. Just the tiniest little bumps and some flying, but the Asea, not so much. I mean, over that uneven terrain right there, where it dips down, it was fine. Of course, it will dip to the front, just like all vehicles do in that tiny little jump. But nothing surprising, nothing difficult in this controlled descent so far. Honestly, I can't remember how it goes. Even though I just recorded this last night, I honestly don't remember how it turns out. And when I edit, I just skip to the end. So that way when I'm watching, I get a bit of a surprise. And first big jump, and nice and flat. No drama out of the landing whatsoever, which is just remarkable. I can't say it enough. Just how amazing it is that this car, despite being a tiny little Econo box, it just handles the rough stuff so well. It just doesn't have the grip in the front wheels to pull it up the mountain. Even there on two wheels, it didn't want to flip over like a lot of cars would. It just came right back down. That wasn't like any expert driving technique or control. No, the car just righted itself. All on its own. Back in, stepping out a little bit there. Almost got the tree of many crashes. But we're coming around to our last little bit of asphalt now, and this has been really easy. That was the first major incident there with that bit of oversteer. And the back end tried to come out because I had too much speed for the corner. So yeah, the Asea can downhill really well, and it's down in 2 minutes, 52 seconds, almost flat. Which means we have to go back to the top of Mount Chiliad and throw this poor little thing off the side of the mountain. Of course, front-wheel drive means it can't get a lot of speed off the ramp. May notice there's already a fender and a bumper missing. Well, I cheated and used a cargo bob to get this thing back to the top, because I wasn't about to spend another 10-15 minutes driving it back up. And when I dropped it a bit hard, and the fender and the bumper came off. I figured it was alright, though. They probably would have come off anyhow during the this portion of the video, so whatever. Probably a bit of cheating on my part to not go get it fixed, but... Oh, big hit. Are any windows left? Yeah, the rear one. The rear one is still intact. Looks like it's being protected by the rear spoiler. car is getting beat up quite a bit, and I'm already hearing just the faintest of rattle from the engine. Don't know how well it'll come across in the video with my commentary and my loud mouth just blabbing constantly. But there is a little bit of engine damage. I swear, my brain just goes into shutdown mode every time I do one of these videos. There's my door. This is where the big test for a lot of the lightweight cars come in this really bumpy, really muddy bit. They usually just bounce around non-stop. And even though the Asea is getting thrown around a bit, it's not as bad as most of the smaller cars that we've seen. It's doing a lot better, quite honestly. So that's the big takeaway. Yeah, it barely off-roads, but if you find yourself in this type of stuff, you'll be alright. But we're down for our damage descent. 1 minute, 50 seconds, and let's take a look at how it fared. The headlights are gone. Most of the windows, they're gone. The front bumper, fenders, and hood, all gone. Has some bent wheels, some moderate body damage, and slight engine damage. But that brings us to our next vehicle. The Dundreary Regina, or as I like to call it, the Regina. This is the first most voted for vehicle this week with 25 votes. Don't forget to vote for the vehicles that you want to see tested in Willet Off-Road by clicking on the link in the description down below. So both of these cars today, I was expecting to be DNFs. I went into it expecting that neither car was going to be able to make it up the mountain. They're both underpowered, and they both have significant problems. With the Asea, it can't put down the little bit of power that it does have, and it results in wheel spin. With the Regina, it's just incredibly slow, and its slush box of an automatic transmission, well, it just can't ever seem to stay in the right gear. It has a really bad habit of shifting to a higher gear when you really don't need it to be in a higher gear. I mean, granted, this is made, you know, to be an interstate cruiser. So station wagons were for to soak up tons and tons of miles while you take your miserable family to some horrible theme park just to find out that it's closed. But hey, at least you get to flirt with a girl in a Ferrari on the way there. So far, though, the Regina is doing fairly well. I mean, again, not fast. Not by any stretch of the imagination fast. And I am fighting that transmission. What I do is I just blip the throttle a lot to get it to shift back down. Got a lot of wheel spin coming up here. And it's going to get hit by that transmission right there. Yep, it went into a higher gear just a few feet before that. Therefore, it wasn't in its power band and could not finish that last bit of climb. Gonna try another push from here. Struggling to get traction, though, because I'm off into the grass, and that's a little bit more slippery than the dirt. Just trying to find that sweet spot in the accelerator that doesn't result in a ton of wheel spin, but unfortunately, it also results in it not having enough power to climb the hill. So I'm going to back up a significant amount. The Commander, always so accommodating, backing out of the way. I gotta say, I really like his dumpster, by the way. It's quite nice design. Commander has a lot of amazing cars. If you don't tune in for my live streams, you should sometime just to get to see Commander Hobo's cars. He has some phenomenal designs. And they're always very well parked. So trying the power thing here again to just Jeremy Clarkson the shit out of this. See if I can't get it to stay in the right gear without wheel spin. And just barely as the wheels start to protest. But we're up over that first big challenge. Trying to get it to shift back down here. Coming up to the next big challenge, and how does the Regina do here? Remarkably well, despite the fact it was in a really high gear. No wheel spin, no drama. It is a lot easier to control the wheel spin in this car through throttle control. And that's the name of the game. A lot of people ask me, you know, for tips as a hiker curses at me, and then gets run over by Commander Hobo. But people ask me, you know, for tips for off-roading. And the main thing in off-roading is throttle control. You don't want to go full power most of the time. You want to find that sweet spot in the power where you're actually putting power down to the ground and moving forward and up instead of just spinning your wheels. Because if you spin your wheels, you're going to slide backwards. If you're in a front-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive car, you're going to lose your ability to steer. So it's best to just get the feel of each car that you're trying to off-road in and then go from there and just try to avoid wheel spin. That is the best advice for off-roading. That, and maybe use a truck that's, you know, more geared towards it instead of a station wagon with fake wood on its side. But whatever. As we continue the climb up, I always get curious as to what's in the luggage on the top. I like to think, since this is GTA, it's probably just tons of counterfeit money, some stolen weapons, maybe some narcotics. And I'm going to say that the red duffel bag has my Jew gold in it. South Park fans, let me hear from you. Anyways, continuing to climb. Push it ever forward, just trying to keep that throttle under control so that the wheels don't start spinning and I don't start sliding backwards. And it's doing it. It's, for the most part, every once in a while the wheels let go, but it's easy enough to just slightly let off the throttle and bring that back under control. So again, not the fastest whatsoever. Right now we're kind of in Albany Lurcher, coming up on Benefactor Glendale territory. The Glendale took 5 minutes and 11 seconds. That's also in the sedans class, so we just passed that. Coming up on the rat truck, actually just passed the rat truck. It came in at 5:21. Up next will be the taxi at 5:37. We'll see if it can beat an unmodified taxi that, you know, took a long time just because we were trying to rely on a driver. And no, can't even beat the taxi. So from there, it just has to beat the Brigade at 7 minutes 38, and I don't think that's going to be a problem. Because once again, going for the Jeremy Clarkson approach of just power. But it failed me. So I'm going to back up one more time. Take one good more run at this here, and we should get up there. Going to go a little farther back. And then just get on the gas, no wheel spin, and as soon as we've got some speed, get hard on the gas. Unwind that 100 horsepower from this massive V8. And there we go, but, oh, problems. Yeah, what the hell indeed, lady. Yeah, for some reason it rolled over when I hit the observation deck. Really bizarre, it also took out the front headlight. So, not a good spot for the Regina to be in, but it's okay. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Come up the side, and we're up. 6 minutes, 38 seconds. Will the Regina off-road? Again, yes, but barely. But my God, does she look gorgeous doing it. Look at that sexy, sexy land barge. So now it is time for controlled descent. What you didn't see there is Commander Hobo was a bit high-centered on the rock for a minute. That bit got edited out, though it might go in the outtakes video. Never know. If I remember to save the footage, well, it will. And already having issues on the controlled descent. Back in, slid it around. And we got hung up on the rocks for a second. But we're going again. Whoa, two-wheel action. Bit scary there. I thought for a second we were going to roll over and go tumbling off the side of the mountain. That would have made fun times for a controlled descent, yeah? Yeah, sure it would have. The problem with the Regina, or Regina, however you'd like to say it, going downhill is it does not have very good brakes. In fact, they're shit. Absolute mushy piles of shit. I'm pretty sure the brake calipers are made up of cotton balls and that the brake rotors are made of crayons for as well as this thing stops. Which is to say, not very well. So I'm keeping the speed off. Ooh, look at the Regina getting frisky and stepping out that back end. You'd almost think this was the fabled ultra rare Regina GT, or I guess it's the Regina GT, with its 16 gigabytes of RAM. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a NOS reference from Bruffy's videos. You should look for those and find it. And the grenade incident as well. And if you know what I'm talking about, go find a random video of Bruffy's and tell him that Brandon72Mo said not to throw any more grenades into people's cars. Getting a bit squirrely again, which caused me to get a bit out of control, but easy enough to get back in line. Big jump. Nice and flat, not a lot of drama. Of course, there wasn't a lot of speed there either, so kind of easy to control when there's not a lot of speed. Trying to keep that the same story here. A little bit faster than I would have liked, but was able to get it slowed back down. So that's the mountain portion of it. Now we're just going to be on the little trails, and for some reason, she just decided she wanted to be upside down again. What are you going to do? Some Reginas are just moody like that. Some of them like it upside down. I don't know. But anyway, continuing here on to this first little bit of dirt. Almost ran off. Coming around to the tree of mini crashes. Avoided the tree of mini crashes because we're going about 2 miles an hour. But that's about the safest speed I attempt in this massive station wagon from what, the 70s? Maybe late 60s. I don't know. Probably 70s by the look of it. Tires protesting around the corners, but still continues on. Got a hiker that managed to not only slow us down, but nearly spin us out. But we're down. 3 minutes, 19 seconds. Once again, almost flat. So, back to the top of Mount Chiliad we go for the final damage descent of this video. And off we go. Not a bad start, but then we get a little out of control in the air. Tried to keep it flat, but no luck. And as soon as we can, as soon as it spins around, look at this D pillar. A, B, C, D, yeah, D pillar. Right rear D pillar. Look at that. As Commander said, it totally collapsed. We've also lost fenders and windows and doors already. I think the door came off. No, just fenders. Just fenders and a hood. Speaking of, there's one of the fenders coming to revisit us. He wants to be back on the car. It's like I'm all alone. Oh, bigger cars do tend to get thrown around a lot more because there's just a lot more surface area for them to get hung up on. And this, I thought was going to be a problem. I really thought I was stuck just trying to power my way out of it. Frontwards didn't work, so we'll try backwards, and there we go. And we're going to go ass first, try to get it turned around, and instead hit a boulder. And nearly got hit by Commander Robo. he nearly inadvertently helped me out of my stuck position. Luggage rack got hung up on a boulder that time. That's the one with the counterfeit money in it up there in the front. Ooh, slight engine rattle present. So we do have some engine damage happening here, in addition to all the other damage that we can see. Well, now we have some that we can hear too. Nice kind of pirouette there. My God, what body part was that went flying? And on my side, into the train tunnel, and bam, into the wall. Let's see how we do over this really bumpy, really muddy bit. See if it does as well as the Asea did. Doesn't have as much speed as the Asea did, but it did a nice little kick up to get its ass in on the bottom side of the concrete there. And it's doing all right through the bumpy bits. Getting a little slidey now and then, but nothing uncontrollable. Up by the log pile, just narrowly avoid it. Commander nearly lands on me again as we're down at 2 minutes. 17 seconds. Let's take a look at the damage. Most of the lights and windows are gone. The hood and the fenders are gone, as well as the front right door. Has bent wheels, significant body damage, and moderate engine damage. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, get subscribed if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. I'm Brandon72Mo, and I'll see you in the next video.